Record. All right, so we recorded now, and just to let you guys know, I always post a video as soon as we finish the go-to. I post them right in that activity section, so you guys are able to refer back to it. And if you have questions or concerns, it's also there for all of our wonderful project portfolio students who couldn't be here tonight. So I like to have that there so they can always refer back to it as well if they need to. All right. So today's agenda. So you get an opportunity to meet your professor. We're going to review week one activities. We're going to talk a little bit about the Who I Am as a Filmmaker project. And of course, we have plenty of opportunities for you to ask questions and all that good stuff. All right. So a little bit about me. I graduated with my first degree from the University of Florida, Bachelor of Arts in Theater. I did a film degree at Full Sail University. I actually did that degree on campus, so that was a totally different experience. Really great experience with that. And then, of course, I did the Master of Science Entertainment Business online, as well as the MFA Creative Writing, which I graduated this past March with that degree. So have a lot going on, as you guys can see. So please feel free to pick my brain this month. Or moving forward, I'm always one that you can always come back to if you have questions about anything. Thank you, Lavelle. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so a little bit about my production experience. While I was in Gainesville, Florida, studying theater, I was given the wonderful opportunity to produce a couple plays. So I produced three shows there, and then eventually coming back to Orlando, I was able to necessarily revamp those shows and produce them here in Orlando. So that was a really great experience to have that. And that's pretty much was my background, theater. Of course, naturally, trying to reach a broader audience, of course. Eventually, after my film degree, I started producing my own films, producing and writing and directing those. And I have a total of 7 short films I have produced. Very thankful for that opportunity. And I produce some projects too with some of my producing partners as well. But these are the list of the ones that I wrote myself. Currently, right now, I'm working on 2 feature films. I'm like, wow, is this really happening? The one that I'm currently writing right now is Downhill. Excited. We possibly will be shooting that here in Florida next year. We will see. We'll see how things go with that. And then I just verbally committed to doing another feature called Forbidden Fruit, which I was recently brought on to write and direct as well and produce. So excited. Both of these are book adaptations, and just like, wow. So dreams do come true, guys. You just got to keep pushing forward. All right. So please feel free to pick my brain on any of that. I'm sure you guys are working on some great stuff too, and I want to learn more about that as well. All right. So another wonderful gentleman that I want you guys to know is Professor Kavan. He's your DCBS department chairperson, as well as he's over policies and procedures. He's your project and portfolio too. I mean, this guy does it all. So he's a busy guy, but he is pretty much your go-to guy if you have questions about any of the policy your professors are having you do or go through, or if you have questions about anything, he will be your go-to guy. Okay, so keep that in mind and take his information if you need it there, and he'll be your go-to guy. And of course, you can always come to your professor first, but if it's something your professor can't figure out, or maybe you want to go to the head, he's the chair, he's the guy to go to. All right. Thanks again, Lavelle, man. You own it. Thank you again. All right. Now, I usually have this up here. This is pretty much, we're on the 29-month program now. So you guys will be more following that. But the reason I really have it up is just to show you where we're at right now. We're in the 8th month, Project Portfolio 1. And then pretty much moving forward, every 4 months, you're going to be in a project and portfolio course. On another note, too, make sure you guys, if you haven't yet, you do have 2 courses this month. One is Project and Portfolio, and then the other is the Career Module course. Now, the Career Module course works a little different. It's pretty much you're going in, it's our career development piece. You're going in, you're pretty much doing the quick activities they have there. Usually don't take students long at all. You take a quick test, and you're pretty much checking off that you completed the activity. So make sure you do that. Some students do wait to last minute and forget about it. I do send you a reminder in week 4, but just I would say go ahead and get that done so it's off your back and you can move on. But the information is really great for you guys. I actually used to work in the career development department before moving over to education, and the stuff that they are doing now is really great to prepare you guys for graduation. So all of this stuff is kind of builds you up each step and getting you ready to start thinking about what you're going to do after you finish school. So start taking those activities. Of course, take those seriously, and please let me know if you have questions, okay, or concerns about that. But definitely get that done. It's already up and live and ready to go. All right. So if you haven't yet, now you need to make sure you get all your pre-activities completed. Okay, and when I say pre-activities, I'm going to pull this up here. All your introduction activities, you need to go through all of these and just pretty much review them and just check off that you agree with the terms or you're good to go. Okay, so the first thing, hopefully you guys already did the welcome, went through that and got all the great information. Make sure you check the professionalism activity and do notice that it is 10% of your grade. Okay. So I've started now because a lot of students forget to do this. So I started now. Once this is late, I start taking off points because this is serious. I'm getting you guys ready for the industry right now. So if I'm a producer and I expect something from someone or I need funds to produce a film, I have to get it and I have to get them the stuff right on time. So all this stuff is not me being picky or mean. It's just me getting you guys ready. Okay. I'm like that mentor. I'm the executive producer for you guys right now, and I'm getting you ready. So all your professors, look at them like that. We're here to guide you through this journey. And we just want to make sure you guys do everything and get all the stuff you can gather from this degree. So that's 10%. Tonight is pretty much kind of the deadline to do that. So get that done. Of course, after tonight is, we're starting to take points off. All right. And it's pretty much 10 points per week. It's late. So make sure you get that done if you haven't yet. All right. So go through all of these activities. All of them will be pretty much due by today if you haven't did it already. You definitely want to check off your software install checkoff list. Make sure you have these programs. If for some reason you don't, it's time to reach out to FSO and try to figure out if they can help you out, quickly. Keep me posted on that. I love it when my students let me know, shoot me an email. Hey, I didn't have Photoshop. Let you know I did reach out to FSO. That's all I need to know, and I know you're working on that problem. All right. So keep that in mind. Check that off. Make sure you have that, and you're good to go. And also check out the policies, the class policies, and all that good stuff to make sure you're just pretty much staying on task and on track. Now, the Pete's Quick Skills, this is probably like bread and butter here for a lot of students. So a lot of our students, I know with me too, when I was doing film, there was a lot of programs that I didn't use. I didn't know how to use. So these are some really quick skills that you can kind of learn about more of the Adobe platform, all the programs that come through Adobe. You can go through these quick skills. Now, I don't feel you have to complete the activity that are within the skills because some students, it does take a lot of time. But make sure you go through that review those skills if you feel you need some more practice or you want to learn more about the program or the programs that we have. All right. So that's what that's there in place for. Okay. Any questions with that stuff? Everybody's good? Any questions? Any questions? All right. All right, Kevin, what's going on? You need me to open your mic or you going to type it in there, Kevin? You just let me know what's best for you. Oh, sweet, sweet. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. But if you download the cloud version, does that mix up the old work? Um, Not necessarily. I think it would only probably mix it up if you delete your old version of Photoshop. I know sometimes like I still love using Final Cut Pro, like the old one. It's taking me a while to get used to this Final Cut X. So it's the same difference, Just keep. I would say keep the old one on board for right now just to make sure. And then when you put the other one in, you should still have the old one. I know that worked with me for Final Draft too. So I think you should be still good. And then Alvin says, I had it too and still have all my. Okay, sweet. Thanks, Alvin. That's awesome. Awesome. Sweet stuff, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Alvin. And great question, Kevin. That's a really great question. All right, cool. Please feel free to let me know if you have any more as well. All right. So for our week one overview, guys, we have the discuss your professional image overview, who I am as a filmmaker project. We have a video, who I am examples, a video of the AV script tutorial that I did personally for you guys. We're going to do some of that tonight. So pretty much kind of in a sense going pretty much through that. And then you have your component, your big component for the week is your one-page script. Okay. All right. So moving into our wonderful discussion post for this week. So, quick note on discussions. Your initial discussion post, which is basically your post that comes from you, those are always due on Thursday of each week. Now, I'll give you guys the heads up. This week, it's going to be like that, and week 4. Okay. Week 2 and 3, you guys are going to be doing a peer critique. So, those work are totally different. You pretty much get the whole week to basically reply or critique your classmates in your group project. So those will work totally different. But for week 1 and week 4, you're pretty much your discussion post is due by Thursday. Now your responses are due by Sunday night, which is pretty much your regular deadline. So just take note that the first deadline for your discussion post is due Thursday night. All right. So get those done. We do not accept those late, so make sure you get those in. I have to go through this every month, and I feel bad because some of my students, they take the time and do it, but they do it, and it's on Saturday, it's on Sunday, and I'm like, ooh, you missed the deadline, man. So make sure you get those done in time. It's very important. And the reason for that is just kind of like your participation points. It's a way for you and your classmates to discuss, different situations and scenarios. And so it gives you guys an opportunity to communicate. So that's pretty much what discussion posts are in place for. So it has to be in there Thursday to give everybody time to review it and, and respond. So that's what that's about. So our first one, of course, for week 1, okay, you're pretty much designing a personal logo, or if you have a logo, it's already great. Some of you guys already sent me some really great logos, just checking. So personal logo, though, is usually, it's pretty much your first or last name, your initials. It can be your first name, it can be your last name, but it usually feature your name somewhere on there. Okay. Sometimes I get students that submit with their nickname, which I'm always looking for your personal name. But if you have, if you want to use your middle name, that's fine. If it's a logo, like a company logo, it's really different because it's pretty much that's your business logo. Whereas if it's your name, that's, it's more of a personal logo. Now, to give you an example, my company name is Ronald Dills II Productions. And so do you guys think Ronald Dills II Productions would work for something like this? Awesome. Yes, Lavelle, it would work for something like this because it features my name. Awesome, John. Good job. So yeah, so if you guys have a company that you already started and it has your name in it, then you can use that for this assignment. Now, if you do have a logo and it's like this is your ideal, oh my gosh, I love this logo, then I would just say make sure you just add your name, which is easy. You know what I'm saying? If your company is called Golden Child Productions, put your name at the bottom or on that logo somewhere, and I will probably go ahead and accept that, okay, for this assignment. All right. So keep that in mind for this. And let me see if I can pull it up here. We're going to do a quick tutorial. I totally forgot to set this zip, but we'll do a quick tutorial here to show you guys how easy it is to create a logo. All right, so you see what I did there. So I opened up Photoshop here. And sorry for those who have already learned Photoshop and are masterminds at it. But we're just going to do a quick example, all right, just to show everyone how quick it is. So I just, to start Photoshop, usually you just go to New. You get this wonderful box. You can decide on width and height, and the size of the workspace. This is pretty much our workspace that we're going to work on. All right. So right there, I already have a workspace. Okay. So now I'm going to find a image, which I should have already saved on here somewhere. Let's see here. Go to assets, and this is week 1. All right, so I'm gonna find an image. I already have an image saved on here to play with, and we're gonna open that image, and it's gonna open in a separate window. Okay, just a little clapboard there that we can use. Now, when you're getting images online, it's just like with anything. You want to make sure you're not doing anything that's against copyright laws. There are a lot of free resources out there. So if you are going to use an image, I would say get something that makes sure it's free, and you can just put in free images, free film images, wherever you want to put. And usually when you Google that, you'll find a lot of images. And you can always just, quote the person who did the image or the artist if you're unsure. Okay. All right. So for something like this is a free image. I'm pretty much going to hit, as you see, I went here. Well, first I went to select all, and then I did that. And then I go to edit, and then I hit copy. Okay. And so once I do that, I go back to my space that I'm working on, edit and space, and and paste. All right, so as you see, our image is here, but it's very large. All right, which that could probably be cool. This is a cool way to do this. Um, I may use that this time. That's a little different look. But let's say you don't want that image to be that large. All right, this is over here. This is our toolbar, and you pretty much can do cool things. Like right now, I hit this. This allowed me to move the item that I'm on. And if you go on this side, you actually see your window. Let me move this box out of the way. So this is the window of everything that we have added on to our work area here. So we have our background, which is this area. So I can click that. I can change the color of the background by just clicking this. Let's just show you an example of that real quick. So let's say if I want to change the color, I hit this bucket here. And let's go to, let's just pick a color here. We'll go with red. And then I just bring the bucket over here. And then boom. See that? Wow, that's cool. All right. So that's just one way you can, of course, change the color. So let's get back to that clapboard. So you want to click the clapboard over here. You want to come back over here and click the arrow here and tools just so I can move it around if I want. And then I'm going to go up to the top here under edit, and then I'm gonna hit transform, and then we're gonna scale it down. All right, as you see, it's really large, so usually I'll just move it down and find those boxes, and then I can always move it down how I want. There you go. All right, just that simple. Once you get it where you like it, put it there. You come back over here and just hit anything in the toolbox, and then this box can come up. You just hit apply. Boom. All right. Just like that. Let me put this up just in case we have some questions here. All right, cool. All right, so now we want to add some font, and I'm gonna just keep working here. So you go over here. This is the font over in the toolbox. I'm gonna go up here. All right, because I want to change the color of my font, and so I just made it black, and you can just make it whatever you want there. And I come down here, and then hit the capitalize button, and look, I'm typing. Okay. And then you just type whatever you want. And of course, it's off the page because it's so large. So you go up to this little box here and you can change the size of the font. So I usually like to get really small just to see where I'm at, how much space I have. Once you get that where you like it, you come down with that, make sure that arrows hit. Come on down here and then you can just drag it wherever you want. Look at that. Bam. All right. Simple stuff. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. Alvin, how I'm doing, man? You seem like you may be the genius at this. I hope I'm doing all right. All right, so I'm gonna continue here. All right, so now I want to add some font maybe to the clapboard here. So we'll just start typing. We'll make it 72. Change the font so you can see what I'm doing. Change the color. Boom. RD2, boom, boom. All right, we can move that to the middle. We can change the size, whatever you want to do. And if the number's not there, of course, you can always type it in. All right, let's go a little bigger and see. 200, boom. All right, so there you go. Look how easy that is. That is pretty much a logo. You know what I mean? Now, let's say if you want to get funky and you want to do some more cool effects. Now, I'm not probably as good, as some of you guys are, but for those that never have done this before, if you come over here and click which item you want. So you see we have for each item, we have each font, we have the clapboard. So everything you add in your workspace, it shows up over here. So if you click on that item, especially if it's like text, you can always add some features to it by pulling open this little wonderful box here. And you can always play with this, and it's just add some little effects to the font that you're working on. I like to use this a lot. Okay. So we got something there. I'm just show you again here. I'm gonna play with the name. Of course, the bigger the font, the more you can see the things that you're doing to it, or it looks better. So the small font doesn't always be as eye-catchy as the large font. But yeah, so there you go. So that's a quick logo example, just to show you guys how easy it is to use Photoshop and create you a nice logo. Just think about some of the things you guys are going to be working on, like knowing Photoshop. I use Photoshop for a lot of stuff. One for photography, but I also use it for creating posters. When you're doing your movie posters or anything for Facebook or any of the social media, because that's huge now. So you're creating all these wonderful images to promote your work. This is just bread and butter, having Photoshop and being able to use that. So yeah, so take advantage of that, and that'll be something that will get approved, of course, for your grade for this assignment. All right, here's some more great examples. Again, like I said, you can use your initials, you can use your full name, however you want to do it. It's really up to you, but just have fun with it. Um, like myself, I'm not really a graphic designer. I just do what I can and I learn and just apply it the best that I can. So we're not expecting you to be like, graphic designers on this. So just, take your time and have a good time. Now, remember to always practice that RISE model peer feedback. We're going to be going through this every week, just to kind of remind you guys, reflect, inquire, suggest, elevate. Always reflect on your classmates' work. Tell them something that you noticed that looks good. It's always great to give some positive feedback. Then you can inquire some stuff. What were your thoughts here? Why did you go this route? You can suggest some stuff. I think this would work better, and then elevate them. It's always great to elevate them to the next level. So definitely continue to practice that and keep that in mind. Okay. All right. Any questions on the logo? Everybody good? Everybody good? All right. Yes, we all good. John is good. All right. Dietrich is good. That's what I'm talking about. Lavelle, thank you. Thank you. Manja is good. Okay. Awesome. All right. So now we're on to the big assignment for the week. Dun, 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 dun. So you guys did work on a treatment back in Professor Genzo's course, which was Visual Storytelling 1. All right. Now, in the pre-activity, your introduction and the welcome message to you guys, it pretty much states that you can gather that information to refer back to it. So this is assignment that we're kind of referring back to, your treatment. So hopefully you all kept your treatment. Something I want you guys to also consider to practice. I'm always going to tell you guys stuff that I've used. So that's just who I am. Anything that I think works really great, I'm going to share it with you guys because I want you guys to have the best experience. So something that I've learned to do is always save everything, because when you start producing your own projects, you're going to be able to refer back to this stuff. You may use some of these templates to get started until you come up with something better. You know what I mean? So always keep up with your stuff. Name each course, put week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4, and you just put those documents in there. Drop them in. Hey, this is what I did in week 1 in this course. That's why I did it week 2. And so by the end of the end of your degree, you have a folder, and you can pretty much name it digital cinematography, and you have a folder for each of your courses, and you're keeping all that stuff because it's always great to be able to refer back to that. All right. So with that said, the treatment, you're going to refer back to the treatment from Visual Storytelling 1, and we're going to start on a one-page script, okay? And we call this an AV script, okay? So AV scripts are usually used for documentary and commercial writing. So it's a great format for those different productions. So it's a multi-column script that outlines the what you're going to see on screen and then what is spoken on screen. So you have video for what you see, audio for what is spoken. Okay, and also audio can be music, it can be sound effects, it can be all that good stuff. Okay. All right. So again, as I was telling you, it's usually interview documentary style. This is a genre we're going for the script. Interview setup. You should already consider an interview setup for this. It can be multiple setups, and when we say multiple setups, it can be a close up, it can be a medium shot, it can be a wide shot. Wherever you are giving that interview, it can be a two people in front of the camera type of shot. So it can be in different locations. So that's pretty much what that means. We do want supportive B-roll footage. Hopefully by now you guys have seen my intro video. I've already received some great feedback about that. B-roll footage can be something as easy as a project you've worked on before. Maybe it's a past film project. I prefer it to be video based. Sometimes students use pictures, but to me, the video is so much better. But you can take some old footage that you've worked on. Maybe you shot a film, maybe you shot a commercial, a music video, whatever. And you can add that into this project, you can also, let's say if you don't have footage, which a lot of students may not have footage just yet, you can shoot some footage. So maybe you reenact, maybe setting up some gear. Maybe you're on your computer, you're showing yourself writing a script on the computer, filming yourself doing that. Maybe you're filming yourself walking. You may be walking at the park, kind of thinking about an idea. Maybe you're writing under a tree. I mean, B-roll can be anything. That's pretty much what I'm trying to tell you guys. So definitely consider that when you're doing your B-roll footage. And of course, as I was just saying, limit stills. Video always connect better to our audience, so keep that in mind. All right, so the requirements for this project, major things we look for, and when we review the assignment, is the AV script is formatted correctly. So that's that 2 columns, video on the left, audio on the right. Now you're getting the template, so unless you just literally delete the whole template, you should get that right the first time. So just keep we're giving you the template, so just use that template and just fill in the boxes. AV script must be 1 full page. For this course, it's only 1 page, okay? Of course, you're going to keep adding on to it. You should try to consider getting it to 2 to 3 pages as you get your first grade in this course. But for this course, we only want 1 page. If you give me 2, I'm deleting the second page. I'm telling you now, and I'm only focused on the first page. And it's a reason for that too. For our peer critiques, we're only having our group members critique the first page. All right. This would be considered, great question, Kevin. First page. This could be considered page 1. And I don't want you to necessarily look at it as, I guess, in that way. Kind of look at it, excuse me, as let me just tell a story on 1 page and see what happens. You know what I mean? You may find that you may expand on some stuff, or you may decide, hey, you want to keep that as your first page and then add on to it. So it can really work anyway. But technically, we're just starting out, so this could technically be the first page. So page 1 for you. So, but great question, Kevin. All right. So make sure also that your script is in line with our DCBS policy. Make sure of that. It must be in a PDF format when you submit it. Some students do not submit it in PDF file, and it's actually 10 points. Remember that whole thing of getting you guys ready? That's a big one. Okay. And also make sure you look at that format and how we like you to submit your file, name your file when you submit it. So last name, first name, script. Okay, and it doesn't have to be in all caps. That's just there so you can see it. But this is how all of your assignments should be submitted. I know with me this month, but it should be this straightforward throughout the whole program. Okay. All right. So additional resources, you do have a tutorial video. Again, we're going to go through it here tonight. You do have a AV script example. So I did give you an example that's pretty much identical to what we have here. And then also we have the template. So you actually will be given the template there. And all of that is in your downloads area here. So let's just open that up so you guys can see. Let's see, one page script. So if you go down here, this is all the stuff we kind of went over here. So you got your directions, your script example. You have the template here. It's in Word. So just remember, when you submit it, you're going to submit it as a PDF file. And then, of course, you have your rubric. This wonderful document here is for you guys. So you can start thinking about shot types, because with this assignment, you're starting to think about shot types. You will be using shot types for your shots to describe, which we'll go through here. But this document is just something that just kind of gets you starting to think about that. Okay. So this is a great tool to have open while you're working with your script and just learning. You have some camera movement stuff here. So you have a lot of great information here, and all the shots are explained here as well. So it's just a great tool to have, okay? Especially if you're thinking about directing and being a DP camera ops. This is something great to have, or even a writer if you're writing commercials or documentary, okay? All right, any questions so far before we start doing one of these live? Any questions? Let me take a sip of water here. Everybody good? You good, Kevin? Kenneth, a question about the logo. Yes, what's going on about the logo, Kenneth? Thank you, Dietrich. Mm-mm. So Kenneth have a question about the logo. I'll stand by. All right. So what if you use your initials to make it, but it may not be quite clear? Um, as long as I can read it, Kenneth, that's totally fine. You can use your initials. Just try to make it as clear as you can. But I'm cool if it's the initials on there and I see it, you should be real good to go. If you want to send it just to make sure, you can kind of send it over to me. Those are due by tomorrow. So if you want to just shoot it over to me tonight, I can definitely take a look and make sure you're good. Well, that's definitely a good question. Good question. All right. Okay, sweet. So yeah, I'll definitely check that out, Kenneth, and see what's going on. Let me take a note of take a quick picture note here. So I'll know to do that when we get through here. Okay. Definitely. No problem, man. No problem. All right. So as you see here, guys, we do have the template open, and we're going to just do basically just do a quick example here together. Here, make sure we're good. And if you have questions, feel free to just type them and let me know. All right. All right. So cool. All right. So when you're doing your script, so first things first, make sure you have your name at the top. Okay. I want to say the title is already placed on the document. I'm not sure, but make sure it's there. Make sure you have your title there. And I tell you guys on the rubric, it'll state this. For this little heading, that's 10 points. It's just that simple. And that's because it's important. If Steven Spielberg was requesting a script from you and you sent it without your name, he would throw it in the garbage. So start getting used to doing that. It's just great practice for you. So if you give me something without a name, I'm taking that 5 points right there. Or if it doesn't have a title, that's 10 for both of those. So make sure you do that on everything. Okay. If it doesn't have a space for it, you create a space for it. Make sure. All right. So getting to the script. So first things first, we have this wonderful thing called a scene heading. Okay. And so a scene heading, let me type it out here. All right. And your script should not be in bold. So just, you may have to take that off if it is. All right. So a scene heading usually is interior or exterior, studio, for a location. So a location can be park, it can be studio, it can be beach, it can be wherever you want it to be. And then you have day or night. Okay. Now, sometimes if you have read scripts before, you may have seen evening, you may have seen dawn. Just doing the masters in creative writing, they said that's how it used to be, but now, I mean, it could be pretty much night or day. So it was something that I just learned because I used to do evening too. Now, if it's a vampire film and you're like, man, I gotta have done there, then you may, can get away with that. But most of the time, it should be just day or night, and that will cover pretty much everything. Okay. And now let me just show you a different example. So interior stands for inside, exterior stands for outside. So this would be inside, the first one, and this will be outside. So that's the representation of that. Midday, same thing. Kenneth, it'll just be pretty much, you can just call it day. Of course, when you describe it in your script, you probably put, if it's very important to the story, But yeah, but that's a great question though. So yeah, you'll still just call it day. I think that's just the route they're going now in the industry. So that's what I was told, Ken. So I'm just saying. But yeah, but just day is fine. All right. So yeah, so you have interior, okay, and then you have exterior. So interior is inside, exterior is outside. Now also take a look at the spacing, okay, because sometimes I do get students that'll do, you guys are just learning, so it's not don't get too crazy about it, but I just want to make sure you guys know the spacing, the correct spacing for this. And I usually give you great notes on your script too. So the spacing, it should just be a space between everything. So just like that. So it just reads very clear and smooth, and you should be good to go. All right. So just get in the habit of doing that. You guys have you're taking your writing course next month too. This is definitely great preparation to prepare you for that. All right. So there you go. So any questions on the scene heading? This is called a scene heading. Every scene has one of these. Okay. So make sure you have that in place. All right. Awesome. Kenneth. All right, so after the scene heading, we got to talk about what's going on in the scene. So usually, we with this type of writing, it's different with narrative screenwriting, but with this type of writing, we describe what shot it is. Okay, so with our action line, we pretty much describe a shot. So I'm gonna go with a wide shot first. As a matter of fact, let's go with an outside shot here. We'll move so it kind of can start it up. Oh, I did that different, but it's okay. All right. So I'm gonna go with an exterior shot, just kind of like those establishing shots that you guys always see. So we're gonna say wide shot. Um, okay, and this is the shot type. So wide is basically you're gonna be able to see the whole entire building. All right, and I'm gonna say a grip truck, or let's just say grips unload a grip truck. Okay, so we have some crew, which are grips. They unload a grip truck. Okay, you notice that's a complete sentence. All right, wide shot, grips unload a grip truck. So it's just straightforward. Uh, it could be, pretty much just a complete sentence there. So keep that in mind with your action lines. So this is your action line. Okay. All right. Usually your action is pretty much straightforward. Let's see, run. So let's see if this still exterior, we'll probably say you can always go into another shot. Ron talks to the camera. All right. So now I'm telling you, hey, we have one shot of this, of the grips unloading the truck, and then we have a shot of Ron talking to the camera. All right. So that's one way to do that. Okay. Interior studio day. In your AV script, you also mention all caps on crew and cast would help in preparation. Yes, Ken, great question. You on it, man. You know, you on it, Ken. Usually with all caps, it works better with narrative screenwriting. I know probably in the tutorial video I did put it. It really just depends on who you turn it into. I'm not going to take points off for it for this course. And so the colleagues, the future courses, they're pretty much on the same page with that. But with narrative screenwriting, it would be all caps for the first time you mention a character. Um, and of course, when you're doing your audio side, which we'll go over too, your character speaking is in all caps over there every time, and then of course you'll underline them. So for instance, let's see. So we have if Ron is talking to the camera, we'll put him in all caps here. Oh, let me take that off there, and then you'll underline them, and then I'll put my dialogue. I have it's underlined, but it's fine. Have the best crew in the world. And then, of course, the dialogue is not underlined, just the character speaking. All right. They make me look good. All right. Cool, cool. Yeah, no, very interesting. You're right about that. All right. So yeah, so again, it really just depends on who you turn it into. But for this, it's like I talked to the colleagues, and everybody was like, "Yeah, it's not a big deal." So another thing too, you guys will find out too. Just give you some more pointers. Usually, when you're doing this in the industry, they like you to have, depending on the producer, of course, time code for each of your shots. All right, and usually the time code is placed right in the bottom here on the right of each box, and the time code is pretty much telling us how long we're going to be on that shot. Okay. So each shot has a certain time length that we want to capture that shot for. But for this, you don't need time code. You're just pretty much coming up with the script idea. Okay. We're going to just keep it simple and straightforward for you guys. All right. All right. So here we'll say, we'll do a medium shot here. Ron directs talent. All right. It's just straightforward. And notice the action lines are always present tense. So it's what's going on right now. And that's with narrative screenwriting as well. It's always present tense. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Now, sometimes we may have two actors in frame, which I'll go over this more when we do our storyboards. But usually I'll put a number if we have maybe two or three, whatever it may be. You can write that two ways. You can either say two shot MS, all right, two shot, medium shot. What I like to do is just put a two in front of the MS. Run. Let's see. Reads. Reads dialogue with talent. So however you want to do that. So there you go. All right. And then of course we can put some dialogue here. Now, one thing I would say too. Now, let's say, for instance, We don't see Ron talking to the camera. Maybe we hear Ron talking. You know what I'm saying? So instead of Ron actually, we see him talking to the camera, he's actually talking. It's like a voiceover. So this is how you would do a voiceover. All right, so Ron VO, and of course it's a period. Sorry about that. Voiceover. And then you can put whatever the character is saying on the voiceover. All right. And of course, the underline, we'll take that off of here if it'll let me. Uh-oh, stop it. There you go. All right, cool. So this is just some examples, okay, of the shot. And of course, this side is the dialogue. So you have your character speaking, all caps, underline, and then whatever they're saying right underneath it. Okay. If it's a voiceover, you're just putting that VO there in parentheses, and then you still kind of, pretty much doing it the same way. Now let's say it's some music. Okay. We want to put some music in here. Okay. Usually with music, I have you guys put music in all caps. Okay. Because it's letting us know right away it's going to be some music. And then pretty much telling us. So what if it's like, it can be something like a soft song plays, because maybe you don't know what type of music you want to put. You can do that. Or maybe you have some music, maybe a friend of yours or someone has, you have access to free music. There's a lot of resources online. You can always put that in here, if you know you're going to go with that song. Now, with music, regardless of if it's a title, an actual title, or you're just saying something like this, a soft song plays, I usually like that to be italicized, in italics. All right, so just do that. Another example, if it's a song. Yep, see, I knew Kenneth was going to say, my cousin. No, I'm just playing Kenneth. There you go, Kenneth. You guess what? Man? You're going to be using a lot of those tracks now. So tell him to get ready. Have them ready for you because you're going to have a lot of stuff to do. But no, that'll be perfect for this, Kenneth. And you'll just pretty much put his name and the name of the song. Um, Usually, when I grade your script, I usually just give you kind of that acknowledgement. Make sure you're following copyright laws. Make sure you have permission to use this song. But I just kind of do that standard for everybody, just to cover everybody, make sure you guys are on point. But no, that's cool. All right. Alvin says, can it be a familiar song? It can be, as long as you have rights to it, Alvin. It can be any song you want it to be. Just make sure you have the rights to it. All right. So that's always important. All right. Uh, yep. So there you go. All right. So for instance, now let's say if it's an artist, I don't have permission, but I'm just going to put this. So what if it's Drake's song, um, God's Plan, for instance? All right, if I have permission to use this one, this is what I would do. You don't necessarily have to have a period there, but it's always great. So you put, of course, Drake's God Plan, or you can put it in that form, or you can put, yeah, just make sure you acknowledge the artist, and then you pretty much, of course, italicize the title. All right, and then of course we just say plays. Plays don't necessarily have to be italicized in this, but it just really depends. Yeah. All right. So Kenneth says, just remember the lyrics can distract from the video. Yep, that is true. So something like this, Kenneth has a great point. Usually with stuff like this, and I'll be honest, you want to use like instrumentals more so than anything. So it just really depends on where you're putting it at. So for this purpose of our assignment, can we list famous song artists? Um, Kevin is only time if you have permission. That's the so I want you guys to have permission. So try to get a song that you have permission to use, just to start practicing the copyright, the correct ways and stuff. So yeah, so if you use an artist, I'm going to pretty much give you that prompt. You may want to consider someone else, that you have, make sure you have permission to use this song. So just keep that in mind, and you guys will be good. hmm All right. Yep, Kenneth got a great point. Perfect for B-roll. Exactly. So yeah, and it just really depends because during your B-roll you may be speaking over it. You never know too. So it just really depends on you as the artist and how you want to approach these. And I want you guys to think about some of the cool documentaries. I mean, reality TV is just crazy ridiculous right now. And they make it crazy ridiculous and fun to watch because it's so much action, it's so much drama. So you know what I'm saying? Of course, with this type of projects, who I am as a filmmaker, but you want to show some stuff that's going to keep the attention of your audience. Of course, we want to see you, but we want to see what you're working on, what inspires you, and all that great stuff in your footage. So just keep that in mind too. The best projects of these are those that go outside of the box. Not everybody is going to have footage at this point because a lot of you guys are just starting out. So how can you go outside of the box to do this? Just start thinking about that. You guys have so much time to start kind of considering which route you want to go. And we're just working on the script and the storyboards this month. So you guys are going to be good. You know what I mean? So yeah. So let me try to think anything else. Only thing else I can say probably too. Let's say we have some sound effects. Usually with sound effects, you can spell it all the way out like this. Usually with sound, you'll find in narrative screenwriting too, you're going to do it in all caps. So that's why we do sound effects. I'll kind of get you guys practicing that. Or you can just say an abbreviation for it, if anything. Um, However you want to do it. All right, or spell it out. Um, so yeah, so anyway, it's fine. All right, so let's see, a glass breaks or something like that. And so what you'll do is just italicize that. All right, and there you go. All right, so that's a sound effect. So anything sound related, that's not dialogue, you pretty much kind of letting us know off top. All right, and I see some students, they'll say a soft song plays here, and then they'll probably try to put that in every box. If you're starting it up here, we're kind of assuming that it's going to play throughout the whole piece. But if you want the sound to end, let's say you want the sound to end, so maybe we wanted to end after the glass break. You can just say ends, boom, or a soft song ends, or however the song ends, soft song ends. So you can always give us that note. So the more information you give us, the more we'll be able to work from. Um, yes, SFX is fine too, Kenneth. Great point. Great point. Dietrich says, in my version of Photoshop, I don't see the paint bucket that will allow me to change the background color. Man, which version you have, Dietrich? Um, which version do you have? Will probably be my first question. Maybe behind one of your. Yeah, yeah. Check that. It may be hiding from you. Do you have the toolbar over here, Dietrich, for sure? Okay, you do have the toolbar. Let me see, where is the bucket? Now, see the bucket, it may be another tool. If you go, maybe you see the gradient tool. If you see, because sometimes it may be like on the gradient tool, and you just have to go over to that and just click and go down to the bucket. So it really just depends on what's on your platform first. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you still have problems with that, and we can always take a look at it. But I know like they got the gradient tool, the 3D material drop tool. So all those are in that same little square. So it's It may be possible that the gradient tool is up right now. Awesome. That's how we roll, Dietrich. Great stuff, man. No, well, thanks for bringing that up. All right. Good stuff. All right. So, any questions on this assignment? Everybody is good. Let me make sure I check that I. Yep, it is. It definitely is. So, yes. So, yeah. So, you guys, this this template is given to you. I give you like a great example here within the assignment too, but and also check out that tutorial video because I actually go through the whole script. But I know we're getting close to the time end, and time just go by so fast when you're having fun, man. All right, but you definitely have this wonderful example there, and I kind of go through that. And as Kenneth was saying, you see how I have the caps and the age. You don't have to do all that. I did it for this script. That was just what I was doing, but it's not something I'm gonna take points off. So you can literally just go into your character. Um, I'm more of a narrative screenwriter, so that's why I'm always doing that. So it really just depends on the piece for you too. So if it's a commercial, you may have to do that for a producer, but for us, we're not going to require you to do that. Okay, so so you don't have to put them in all caps. Just make sure they're in all caps on this side and underlined. And as you see the dialogue, make sure your dialogue too is grammar free. We'll be looking at that. Make sure it's in complete sentences. Make sure your action lines are also in complete sentences. I'm always looking at that. And then, of course, your shot types. You have medium shot, a long shot, wide shot. You could probably just focus on the basic shots, but if you know a lot of great shots, you have that document, you can start learning how you want to break this stuff down. A lot of students, I don't necessarily want you guys to start thinking about camera movement just yet, but if you're on that level and you understand the camera movement, you can also start describing that in your shot types too. Yeah, yeah, Kennedy, that's probably the old version. Yep, you're right. So that's just, I want to give you guys, make sure you know the full correct way, but I'm not going to take off for not having the time code. But that's just how it's done really in the industry. But for us, we're not going to, be that strict on you guys just yet because you're still just learning. Now, you may have to add a time code later down the line. You know what I'm saying? But for this course, you don't have to have it. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So yes. All right. So if you guys are good, I'm gonna stick around just in case. But if you guys are good, that is it for tonight. Please keep me posted. Again, make sure you get your stuff in. Your first discussion post is due by Thursday. Don't forget. And that's just a discussion. And then you respond by Sunday. Your script is due Sunday. And then after that, you guys are on summer break. So get some rest, get refreshed, and let's come back ready to work. Okay. So Kevin says, so in a nutshell, this week's assignment's up. Yeah, take your previous treatment, right? Boil it down to one, right? Yep. We expand three script. That will be yes. So for this month, we're just going to do the one page, Kevin. And then, of course, once you get your feedback from me and your classmates, you're going to keep adding on and try to kind of get it between 2 to 3 pages. So, yep, you're correct. Dietrich, the logo is due by tomorrow night. Don't forget to do those intro assignments too. Those are due tonight. And that's just basically reviewing everything and say you agree. You guys got it. Thanks, Lavelle. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. All right. I would definitely send you guys a reminder for next week, but just in case I forget, don't forget it's summer break.